Josie. I'm the photographer for the shoot that you've just seen the behind the scenes of. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about the process and the sort of behind the scenes, I suppose. The images were originally based off the original telling of The Little Mermaid by Hans Christian Andersen, so it's the Danish, quite dark, this kind of thing. So I wanted to therefore avoid flowing fabrics and very, very pretty traditional fairy tale images, even though that's what it was based off. I was looking at WGSN for upcoming trends, and with the whole sort of staying in is the new going out vibe that millennials are sort of taking on, myself included. I decided to run with that a little bit and do more loungewear and comfort wear and I suppose nightwear. It was obviously a big challenge. It was a challenge in the first place to find a location, but our fabulous producer Lucy Murphy managed to pin down a private pool that we were allowed access to, so that was amazing. The models were switching in and out. I wanted a selection of group shots and individual shots of the girls as well, of which there were originally 7, but somebody was unable to make it, so we went with 6, which is a nice number. The kit we used was varied and extensive. I had a big, huge list of things that we were using. Primarily, it was a Canon 5D Mark IV in the water inside a Uwa Marine Ubi 100, which was quite a challenge to use. It's quite difficult to get all of the air out of it enough to sync, because it's quite important to be able to sync. It's quite easy to use in terms of putting it together. It's very straightforward. Instruction manual is really, really simple. All it is just make sure that you're not getting bubbles anywhere and just go for it, I suppose. But it's got a little pocket that you can put your finger in where you can press the button. However, I find it's very difficult to feel because there's a thick layer of plastic. So it's very difficult to work out when you've actually taken a picture. Yeah, so I don't know if it's cheating, but I ended up putting my camera on multi-shot, just finding the focus as quickly as I could and just holding that shutter down and just hoping for the best. It meant I had about 3,000 photos, I think, at the end of the shoot, but I don't know, I think it was worth it. Shooting underwater is quite a challenge anyway, because you need to be able to sync. So this was a bit of a challenge that Lucy and I were trying to work out how to resolve. So I think in the behind the scenes video you can see that I'm wearing like a like a belt. I didn't have anything fancy, so it literally just is a belt, and I've got some of those kilogram donut weights looped onto the belt, and then also a dumbbell as well, because I didn't feel like the kilograms were keeping me down. Yeah, it was just sort of working out which weight was the best to keep me under without drowning me, which was a challenge. I went under once or twice, thought I might not come back up. The way that you have to set your white balance in the water is quite interesting, because a lot of the light gets filtered out, especially red tones. So you have to set a custom white balance for that. Is very easy to do on the 5D Mark IV. All you have to do is get something that is white, put that in the environment, take a picture of it, and then set that as your custom white balance. This is fine if you can adjust it afterwards in Photoshop or Lightroom or Camera Raw or any of those programs or any of the software that you can do that with. That's fine, it's not a problem, but it's a bit frustrating when you see it on the back of the camera and you think, it's not quite what I was hoping for. Also, I kind of felt like the final images weren't quite as dynamic as I was hoping. It was lacking something for me. I don't know, as an artist I quite like to have something with punch. It wasn't quite hitting the spot for me, so I tried experimenting. I didn't think that it was going to be my final edit. I didn't think that it was going to be anything like phenomenal. I was just having a play around, you know. And I combined a couple of the images and they suddenly just went bang, and all of the colours went pop, and it was really, really cool. And I thought, oh, I wonder what I could do there. It looks kind of surreal, it looks like Man Ray kind of stuff, so I just kept piling stuff on top of one another. And it's really, really interesting, and it's not at all, I don't know that you can really tell that it's under the water, so from that perspective I'm not entirely sure if it's worth it, but I really like them, I think they're cool. It's a challenge. Anybody wanting to do an underwater shoot, I would definitely do your research. I spent hours researching how to do things, what the best methods were. Safety measures as well, that's obviously the most crucial part of it. Obviously you need to be very, very familiar with your camera before you can work it in one of these aquamarine, UA-Marine or Decapac aqua packs. Make sure that all of your models are comfortable. One of our models sort of realised that she wasn't massively comfortable putting her head all the way under the water. But that was fine, we worked around that. The last thing I want to do is make anybody on set feel uncomfortable or unsafe. So in terms of nudity, there was quite a lot of nudity on set, and obviously I want to make sure that everybody is aware that this is going to be happening. Everybody's got signed consent forms, everybody's very, very clear on the boundaries that every single model has. Everybody might have slightly different boundaries, everybody might have slightly different levels that they want to work to, and that's perfectly fine. You know, that the level of trust has to be there as well. So that was quite a big deal too, and I made sure to really look into that, and with Lucy's help we wrote up these extensive model release forms that everybody signed. Everybody's on the same page. Overall, it was a very intense day. It was a very intense few weeks of planning. The turnaround was quite quick from sort of idea conception to execution, and it's so different to what I was intentionally going for, but there's quite a wide range of different images in the set, so they might be used for different things. So yeah, I'm excited. And I'm looking forward to shooting again next weekend. So I should be changing around my kit slightly, but pretty much the same setup. So yeah.